Keep that camera on, Karen snapped, stepping into my yard like she owned the sun. By the time she realized the microphone was live, half the neighborhood WhatsApp group was already watching. Her smile was tight, plastic, the kind people wear right before they say something they can't take back. She waved a violation letter inches from my face, voice loud enough for the street. People like you don't belong in communities like this, she said, thinking power meant volume. What she didn't know? I had installed cameras after my mailbox was vandalized. 4 angles, crystal clear audio. And tonight, the HOA board was meeting to discuss my behavior. If you love powerful stories, you don't want to miss this. But before we continue, tell us where you are watching from. It makes us happy to see how far our stories travel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Karen kept talking, digging deeper, threatening fines, towing, even reviewing my residency. Behind her, Mr. Alvarez slowly lowered his newspaper. 2 teenagers across the street stopped laughing and just stared. The air changed, heavy, uncomfortable. Then she leaned closer and whispered something she thought the camera wouldn't catch. It did. And right then, a police cruiser rolled slowly past, then stopped. Karen straightened instantly, voice switching to sweet honey. Officer. Perfect timing. But the officer wasn't looking at me. He was looking directly at her, and he already knew her name, because this was not her first complaint like this ever. On record. Karen's smile twitched when the officer stepped out and called her by her full name, Karen Whitmore, like someone reading a file, not greeting a neighbor. Ma'am, he said calmly, we've had prior reports involving similar interactions. The street went silent. Even the wind felt like it paused to listen. Karen laughed too loudly. Oh, please, officer, you know how people exaggerate. I'm just enforcing community standards. I stayed quiet, calm. The camera on my porch blinked red. The officer glanced past her, straight at it, then at me, then back at her. We also received video footage submitted earlier today. Her head snapped toward me so fast I almost heard it. You record people now? She hissed. I record my property, I said softly, for safety. Across the street, Mrs. Chen slowly stepped onto her porch, then Mr. Alvarez, then the teenagers. Phones out, watching, not hiding it. Karen's voice got sharper. This man has been hostile to the HOA for months, ignoring notices, challenging authority, creating tension. The officer nodded slowly. About those notices, the bank contacted us. Now her confidence cracked. The bank, she whispered. Yes, ma'am. There were irregularities in how certain fines were processed, some selective enforcement concerns. A second car pulled up. Not police, a black sedan. The HOA treasurer stepped out, pale, sweating, wouldn't look at Karen. Karen, he said, voice shaking, they audited the accounts. The crowd grew. Windows opened. Doors creaked. Karen grabbed his arm. You handled the finances. He pulled away. You told me who to fine. And right then, my phone buzzed. Neighborhood group chat. Video link posted. Karen, on my lawn, saying everything. Already thousands of views. Karen's phone started vibrating like it was panicking for her. Buzz. Buzz, buzz. She finally looked down, and her face drained of color so fast it was almost artistic. The HOA group chat, the neighborhood moms chat, the city community page. The video was everywhere. Someone nearby whispered, "That's her voice. That's exactly what she said." Karen spun toward me, eyes wild. You set me up. I tilted my head. You walked onto my property. You spoke freely. The officer cleared his throat. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to lower your voice. But she couldn't. Not anymore. The control was gone, and everyone could see it. Then Mrs. Chen spoke, soft but sharp. Karen fined me for my garden because it looked foreign. Mr. Alvarez raised his hand. She fined me for having family visit too often. One of the teenagers stepped forward. She reported my dad as suspicious 3 times. He's a doctor. Karen looked around like the ground itself betrayed her. Then the HOA treasurer spoke again. There's more. The audit found redirected legal funds, emails, instructions, your instructions. Her knees nearly buckled. And right then, another car pulled up. Not police. Corporate logo on the door. The property management company. A woman stepped out holding a tablet. Karen Whitmore, effective immediately, you are suspended pending full investigation. The silence was brutal. Karen tried to speak. Nothing came out but air. My phone buzzed again. Local news picked up the video. I looked at her, not smiling, not angry, just steady. Power isn't volume, I said quietly. It's record keeping. And for the first time, Karen looked small. Please like, comment, and subscribe. By sunset, Karen's world had collapsed in quiet, irreversible ways. No dramatic screaming, no movie-style meltdown, just consequences, stacking. The property management company escorted her from the emergency HOA meeting that night. Not fired yet, but stripped of authority. Tablet access revoked, email locked, title, acting president, gone in one click. The neighborhood group chat changed its name that evening, from HOA compliance updates to community neighbors. No one said why, they didn't have to. 3 days later, the audit results became official. Selective fines, targeted warnings, intimidation emails, financial misdirection that, while not criminal, was enough to end her career in property management permanently. The treasurer resigned too. But the part nobody expected? The neighborhood block party still happened that weekend. Mr. Alvarez grilled, Mrs. Chen brought dumplings. The teenagers DJ'd badly, but proudly. Kids ran across lawns that suddenly felt lighter. Karen's house stayed dark, not destroyed, not vandalized, just ignored. And somehow that was louder than anything else. That night, as string lights glowed across the street, Mrs. Chen handed me a plate and said, "Thank you for not yelling back." I smiled. I just pressed record, because sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's truth playing back in perfect clarity. And sometimes the most powerful comeback is simply letting someone show the world exactly who they chose to be. The camera over my porch blinked red once more. Not as a weapon, as protection, as proof, as peace. Please like, comment, and subscribe.